Good evening. I welcome you to our SPSS class number 4. I am your facilitator, Brighton Comer. In the previous videos, I demonstrated how you can create a pie chart and how you can produce a bar chart. In this video, I'll further go a step ahead to actually demonstrate how you can record variables into different variables and record into a single variable. I skipped question 1 for a purpose. Let's try to see what's on question 1. I'll do as usual. This is how question 1 is coming. This is appearing to be very beautiful. Now, if you decided to produce age in a single table, what it means is that that table should fit on a single page when you paste this table in Microsoft Word for reporting. Now, assuming that you add information starting at age 1 up to 95, do you think that can fit into a single page? Definitely it can't. It's something that will capture about 5 pages. How can we then collapse this information into age so that we can actually come up with something shorter, so that once we create a table it should fit on a single page? We can decide to group the information. We can say 15 to 19, 20 to 24, and so on and so forth. So I know that the lowest age here is 15. Then the highest age is 34. So I can actually record this information. So I'll close this window. There are these two buttons, which is record into same variables and record into different variables. I'll start by record into different variables so that I show you what happens. When you're dealing with record into different variables, it means you are creating a new variable which is going to be separate from question 1, as you can see. So I'll click there, then I'll drag the variable I want to make changes to, then I'll say this is age 2, then I'll still call this is age 2, age. You've seen that there's a question mark. Once I click on change, that changes. Then I'll add odd and new values. So I'll go on a range because I want to make a range. I'll say 15 to 19. I will call this as 1. Then I'll click on add. I would say 20 to 24. I will call this 2. 25 to 29. I will call this 3. I'll say 30 to 34. I will call this 4. I will end here because the highest age was 34, so I can't create a group starting at 35. It's meaningless. I'll click on continue, then I'll click on OK. This window is just giving me a summary of what I've done. I'll close this window, then I'll go to my variable view. Have you seen that I have created this new age which I've called age 2? Let me try to analyze age 2 and see what has happened. I'll go there, I'll take out this, or I'll keep it so that we see a comparison between the two. This is for age, then this is also for age, the one which I've just created. I should have labeled it age 2, but you've seen that there is no 15 to 19, but for me I know that where there is a 1 is 15 to 19. I can further edit these things. So let me call this one as age group. I'll go there, and I'll say 1 is equal to 15 to 19, or I can edit this in Microsoft Excel. There is no problem. Then I'll say 20 to 24. I'll add 3. I would say 25 to 29. Then 4 I'll say this is 30 to 34. There it is. Now let me try to analyze the same question again. So SPSS keeps things in memory, so I have to take it back, then drag it back. And let me see. So this is for age. Then let me see what I've produced. Have you seen how the data has been collapsed? So this, you can do this if you want to, put information in age groups. Like you've seen here, using this option, record into different variable has actually led to the creation of the new variable, whilst question 1 has remained. Now let me try to also demonstrate by using this first option and see what will happen. You've seen that the same thing has come. I'll still select a variable that I want, but it doesn't give me the option to name a variable because I'm not creating a variable, but instead I'll just make changes to the same variable. So for the first one, I was using the range. I can still use this range, there's no problem, but I also want to show you something. You've seen this variable A. I can as well say here that 19, when I put 19 range lowest through value, so it means it will capture everything starting at 19 or to the lowest value, which this group is going to be called as 1, which is the same thing that I did. If I use the range, I could have put 15 to 19, but this one I'm assuming as if I don't know the lowest edge, so I'm just instructing SPSS that everything starting at 19 to the lowest, collapse it and call this group as group number 1. Then I'll go to the range, I'll say 20 to 24. I'll call these 2. Same things, 25 to 29. I'll call this group 3. Then the last group, if I want, I can either say all the other values here, I'll call them as 4. Or I'll say range value through highest. So here I'm putting 30. It means SPSS is now going to collapse everything from 30 all the way to the highest value, which is 34. You call that group as 4. Click on continue. This is just showing you what you've actually not done. Now let me try to analyze the same question, which is question 1. So I have to take it back first because SPSS keeps things in memory. Then I'll analyze the same thing. Have you noticed that the data has actually been collapsed? One there is representing 15 to 19. Like I demonstrated, you can actually go to SPSS, you can go to the variable view, you can change here. You can say 1 is equal to 15 to 19, like I've just demonstrated in this video. Or if you don't want that way, you can just actually copy the same table and you can do the same into Microsoft Excel. So I can actually paste there. Sorry, I didn't copy my table, so I have to copy the table. I export this to Microsoft Excel. Then here I can say 15 to 19, 20 to 24, like I was doing in SPSS, 25 to 29. Then I would say this is 30 to 34. I want to produce a table. I would say this is frequency, this is frequency, this is age. Then the percent and the varied percent are the same, so I'll just maintain there. I want to build a leader table, then I'll put the borderlines on top, then I'll put the borderline at the bottom. Then I'll copy this, I'll put whatever that I want, you can change, then I'll put it to 14, Then I can copy this. I can go and paste into my Microsoft Word. I'll say this is going to be 4.1.2, which is going to be age distribution of respondents. Then I'll paste the table there. I can further adjust this table like I demonstrated previously. I want to make something that is going to look more attractive. I want to make something that's going to look more attractive. And there it is. That's a table. So what I've actually demonstrated, you can actually use these two power functions. For example, if you corrected data in single income, where someone is earning 100 kwacha, 500, 3,000, 40,000, you want to put the salaries in two intervals, you can actually do the same. So the disadvantage of using record in two same variables is that once you perform this function, you actually save the data. You can't recover the original information, it's gone. But for this one, you maintain the original variable, then from it you'd actually produce a new variable. Even if you make a mistake, you can always go back to it.